Okay, so we'll see how this goes. Good morning, all. Don't know if there's anybody here yet or not, but I'm having coffee. And if nobody shows up, I guess I'll be talking to myself. I do that a lot anyway, so you know. Hmm. Ah, I think everybody's probably doing the same thing I should be doing, which is sleeping. Just talking to myself. Hmm. Well, oh, so purpose of today's video, if anybody comes in, was just to get some more ideas, see what everybody thought about my last video, try and figure out, excuse me, try and figure out, well, get some ideas really on how to maybe get my channel out there a little bit more. Maybe I should be asking people to, hit the like and subscribe button, but I don't know, I just forget to do that sometimes. Um, kind of wondering what everybody uses for their lives. Well, I'll be back in just a second, guys. It looks like my dogs want back in, so hold on a minute. I'll take you with me. Because, of course, Doc and Arlo have to make their appearance. Oh, it's bright. Bright, bright outside. Come on, boys. Come on, Willie. So I guess it will just be me today. I'll give it another few minutes. And if nobody comes in, then we will cancel this live. Oh, hi, Cheza. Oh, I just had to let the dogs back in. Because, old Doc Boy here, he, he's short haired, so he doesn't like being outside when it's cool like it is today. Oh, where am I? Oh, crap. There it goes again. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I know I just let all three dogs in, but there is somebody or something scratching at my front door. What? Did we leave Tom outside? How are you this morning, Cheza? There's nothing out there. Odd. What, Arlo? Oh, that's never mind. Tom's in his bathroom. So, as I said earlier, the purpose of today's live is just to see what you guys thought about last week's video. I'm trying to figure out ways to get my channel out there a little bit more. And I keep getting this popping up. If anybody else uses StreamYard, what is this share referral link? And it's got like a dollar sign on it, but I'm afraid to touch anything because I don't want to mess it up. Good morning, Wayne. How are you today? Just staying warm in my comfortable little snuggie here. And trying not to have too many brain farts because I think I indulged just one too many last night, and kind of feeling like a bag full of smashed assholes here. All right, so I'm gonna do this because it's driving me crazy, and I think it's the only way I can make it disappear. I'm gonna push this thing that says share referral link. I'm not sure what that did, but oh, there it is. Okay, so you guys, it didn't make it disappear, but don't pay attention to that because I thought maybe if I pushed it, it would make the thing go away, but now it's just there with a blue circle around it. So that did not help at all. I liked the diamond art you did. I think next time I actually get over to Cape, I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby. That's the best place I know of to get stuff like that. So that would be something that I could do when I have that rare few minutes to myself. And we're not fighting any food today, Wayne. In fact, food is probably not going to be on my menu for a couple more hours. All right, so I'm going to turn this thing sideways. Maybe that'll get it out of the way there so I can see what you guys are. Oh, well, that did not help at all. Never mind. We'll turn it back up. I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay. So I can't get the share your referral link to disappear, which means that the very last comment on my page every time is going to be, I don't like it. So I'm thinking Sunday, when I do my video Sunday, it will probably be the hot cross buns and the gooey butter cookies. I'll definitely have to do those in video though, especially the gooey butter cookies, because you got to chill the dough first. They come out really light and fluffy, about the size of a $50. But if you don't chill the dough first, they flatten out and get really hard. So what, Doc? Well, you want to say hi? Yeah, you good boy. I do wish you would quit with the tongue. The tongue thing, man, the tongue. You're a little wet around the tongue area. Oh, quit. Quit that, you silly boy. All right, all right. Oh, no, you can't get in my lap. No, you can't get in my lap. You're bigger than my lap, Doc. You're bigger than my lap. Quit. All right. Now that I got Lovey Boy here contained, sort of. You can't crawl up there. Look at you. You're too big. You're too big. And your tongue is too wet. So uh, he's a Great Dane Malinois mix, much too big for a lap, and he's about 100 pounds, so much too heavy. Oh, quit with the tongue already! Quit. Oh, he's my good boy. Yeah, look at him. His head is as big as mine, but he's my good boy. He's the one that I used to have, but I had to give to my boyfriend because he would get out in the fields and try to play with the calves, but he's as big as a calf, so the cows didn't realize it, and they would kick at him and stuff. So to keep him safe, I gave him to my boyfriend, and he's turned him into a big ball of love and uh, mobility assistance. He sometimes has trouble getting up because of some injuries to his hips and stuff. So Doc here is just tall enough to help him get up. And he's a good boy, so he stays still while Jesse does it. And otherwise, he tries to inhabit my lap. Oh. So what are everybody's plans for today? I was going to go get my master cylinder fixed, but we had a couple of short nights this week, so I am actually going to enjoy my day off and maybe run to town and do. He is Wayne. He is big. And he's so lovey. He thinks he's little like a lap dog, but he's not, 'cause he's 100 pounds. And look at his head. His head is literally as big as mine. Yes. Keep your tongue in your mouth. Keep your tongue in your mouth. You got a mile long tongue. He is a big softy. He is. But I'll tell you what, he's also very protective. He is. So my boyfriend lives kind of back. He's on a dead end road basically, and he's about he's less than an eighth mile from his nearest neighbor. But because of the woods, you can't really see any. You can't really see the neighbors. And Jess had a camera put up on his front door because he'd noticed it looked like some things were being messed with around his house. 70. Why have they been? Why have you guys been instructed to do a 72-hour survival pack? Do you guys have weather coming in, Jessa? Oh, Doc, surprise kisses. I know. I know. All right, there you go. My blanket's over your head now. Are you okay? Um, I can't really see the explanation, so I'll have to wait until somebody else makes a comment before I can read the last part of your message there. Oh, I was going to ask you guys too. Has anybody seen Pomp? I was going to ask him how his last doctor's appointment went, but I haven't seen him, so yeah, I really wish I could get this share your referral link thing off of there. Like I said, it's basically blocking out like the last half of the next comment coming out. So Um, I don't know what channel it's been on. Oh, oh, that's not good. I guess right now it would be a good idea just to do the survival pack and basically kind of a prepare for the worst, hope for the best kind of thing. If you haven't seen it on any kind of reputable news channels, though, um, yeah, I know reputable and news channel doesn't really go in the same sentence anymore, at least not here in America. Um, I would say probably go ahead and do it. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. That 72-hour survival pack may come in handy for something else. Maybe not this situation, but it may come in handy for something else. But I would do a little more research on it before you really start stressing out too much, Chesna. You know how media can be, um, clickbait and all that. It may just be scaremongering. Again, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, I guess. From what I remember of all my years of watching the international news, um, Russia sometimes likes to thump their chest a bit, I guess. And from what I've seen of Putin, he really likes to thump his chest. So, I mean, that may be what it is, or they may just simply be scaremongering. Maybe they've got a slow news day. But I'd say go ahead and prepare. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. I don't think that Russia's quite stupid enough to do something like that. I mean, they've got to know that if they were to go after the UK, it would be like every other country in the world would basically be on them like a wolverine on a caribou. You know, he's got to know that. I mean, I don't know about our president, but we've been long time allies with the UK. I'm pretty sure we'd be like chewing their heads off and shit. So let's hope he's not that dumb. Um, or I should say, let's hope he's not, gone crazy. It does happen now and then. I mean, we've had a couple of wackadoodles ourselves, so hopefully, hopefully it is just scaremongering though. Because honestly, that's something everybody in the world needs to worry about. Um, we're not as separated as we used to be. And with technology, our countries have maybe not physically gotten closer together, but it's a lot easier now with technology to kind of reach out and touch somebody from afar. So yeah, I just can't. I can't wrap my mind around it if it's anything more than just scaremongering. If he's trying to do anything more than just intimidate, surely not. Surely not. And see, I haven't anyway seen anything about it on our news. But again, with everything that we've got going on over here, that's not really surprising. Uh, Willie, quit growling. There's nothing there. It's your shadow. So he has a very old and kind of simple poodle. And we say Willie is simple because Willie glitches. Like for no reason, he'll just start, growling at nothing. Uh, every now and then, his tongue glitches and he just starts licking everything. He's all right though. Willie's just simple. Um, I've missed apparently quite a bit with the paranormal. I haven't really been trying to catch up with it though. Honestly, I'm just kind of tired of all the drama, and unfortunately, I'm kind of seeing that maybe one or two of my favorite channels have lost a bit of their credibility, and yeah, I'm just kind of trying to stay away from all that. But I'm getting like snippets of it here and there. So, oh, oh, good, good, good. Now that I can actually see that last comment, uh, he should be having a good time then. From what I understand, grandbabies are great. I don't have any of my own, but from what I understand, they are just the cat's meow, basically. Yeah, I try to stay away from it. I mean, if anybody ever wants to come in here into my chat and like express themselves, get the frustration out, that's fine. But as far as like the drama goes, I try to stay out of it. And I may get some backlash on this one, but I think when it comes to the current situation, one of my favorite channels has definitely lost some credibility there. I don't think they're able to be objective about it. I should say I don't think he's able to be objective about it. So I've kind of had to stop watching his lives for a while. It just aggravates the crap out of me. Yeah, that's it. It depends on who you watch. Um, and that's why I said I'm glad I've stayed out of it. I'm glad that my little channel is just a cooking channel. Um, so I think what's going on right now though is it's ridiculous. So I just try to stay out of it. Like I said, I want to create a safe space with my lives. Everybody's welcome to come in and express themselves. Um, express your frustrations, get them out, because keeping that kind of stuff in can really build up. But yeah, hear no evil, say no evil, speak no evil. Or as my grandmother used to say, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. And when she was telling you that, she had a very, very, very stern look on her face because she meant it. She was the kind of woman I can only aspire to hopefully be one day. Oh, I did see. So I caught part of the live yet last night that Seg was in with Haunted Tales, I think is their name. I hadn't seen them before, man. I really thought those guys were cool. I went ahead and hit the subscribe button on that one so I can watch some more of their stuff. Actually, guys, you know what? I think instead of the gooey butter cookies, because they do take quite a bit of time, that'll be one that I prepped the night before. I think maybe I'll do the hot cross buns and some banana bread, which is really good with a lot of butter on it, like fresh from the oven. Like cut you off a slice, put you some honey butter on it. It's good. So who do we have in? I know we got Wayne and we got Cheza. I see there's 4 people, 5 people in. Who else is in? I know you guys are probably just lurking, but I'd like to know who you are so I can say hi. Tom, get off the piano. Oh, crap, he actually listened. Tom is the cat. Hi, Rebirth. Before the school run? Oh, either dropping off or picking up. Some of the schools around here are still out because of all the flooding we had over the weekend. It really tore up some roads. I mean, like washed whole sections of roads out, so pieces of it no longer even exist. So we've had to do there's had to be quite a bit of road repair around here. Um, they don't show it on the news much. Yes, cookies. Let's see. So the gooey butter cookies, you do have to chill for like at least 8 hours after you make the dough. So that one's definitely going to be a video. But I thought about trying to do a live to do cooking again. Maybe Sunday. I know there's quite a few people going live Sundays, but Sundays and Wednesdays are the only days I have off. So I thought about maybe doing banana bread and the hot cross buns. What are you doing, Thomas Cat? No, get down off the table. Off the table. Off. Off. You can't be on the table. Bad kitty. So he has a orange cat. And this orange cat likes to get up on the table because I drink coffee with cream and sugar in it sometimes, and he likes to try and drink my coffee. Then he goes and does zoomies around the house for 2 hours. Aw. I remember when mine were young enough I had to pick them up. Now my youngest one is driving and will be graduating high school in May. So next month. Yep, I forgot. Oh, hey, yeah, that would be, yeah, right around the time for kids to get out today. Well, I know between the storms that we had in the over the last couple of weeks, well, since about the middle of March, we've had some really wicked weather around here, and between the tornadoes and the flooding, several of our smaller schools, especially that have more rural routes that go out in the middle of nowhere, have really had to do some rearranging on either how they get the kids to school or have had to just take the school off. Um, because yeah, it's been crazy. Uh, so this thing is really just annoying the crap out of me. I'm trying to get this referral link thing taken down, and I don't know how to get it off of there. And when I turn my phone sideways, it just does weird stuff. So I usually don't put walnuts in my recipe. I like the taste of pecans better, so usually when I do banana bread, I'll put pecans. I'll like crush the pecans up and put them in it. Um, and then of course, if you guys have got any ideas, let me know. And I've started keeping a piece of paper and pen with me when I do these lives, so that if anybody has any ideas, I can write them down. Because my memory is like a sieve. You pour stuff in it and it just kind of flows out. I'm sorry, guys. I look a little rough this morning. Um, got off work last night and might have had one or two rum and cokes too many. I have a date and walnut recipe. It's an Indian recipe. Um, mm, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like dates and nuts and honey. Um, Good morning, Mariah. How are you? And I want to say it's similar to baklava, but I don't think baklava is the right word. Is Zach with you today, Mariah? If he is, say hi, Zach. Oh, crap. My voice went out. Uh, Now, Tommy, you stay off my table and out of my coffee. So Doc made an appearance earlier, Mariah. He tried to crawl up in my lap, all 100 pounds of him. Now, now he's over there sleeping, as if nothing ever happened, as if he didn't try to break my legs. And then I got the other one in the front room in his favorite chair snoring. I did not know that bulldogs snored that loud. But this dog can snore loud enough to literally rattle the windows. I don't get it. How something that small makes such a big, he's like a miniature resonance chamber or something. I don't know. So, let's see. Actually, you know what I may do? I may do just, I might just do one dessert and then, try and do, if I do it live, I'd like to do like a meal. So, like a dinner and a dessert. Um, I like Mexican food. So I thought about doing like fajitas or something like that, something simple and quick. Because I mean, the banana bread is simple, but it's going to take a little while. It's one of those recipes that are incredibly simple. It's the time that you got to put into it. Well, tell Shrimps I said, hey, handsome. Um, but yeah, so like on my lives, what I'd like to start doing, if I can get back to actually doing cooking live, is do like a whole meal. But for my videos, I will concentrate on specific recipes. And then anytime I go live, if you guys have questions about something I've made, just ask. Because for right now, it seems like I may have to do that with the lives, just make them like a question and answer session. Um, I have acquired quite a bit of knowledge in 20 plus years. Some of it I don't even remember I have. Yeah, yeah. I do have some activated charcoal. Unfortunately, I left it at the house, and I'm actually here at Jesse's. So, uh, honestly, what it probably was is I didn't, I usually what I'll do is when I'm drinking because I don't like feeling like this in the morning. I will usually have a drink and then I'll drink like an 8 ounce glass of water. Um, and then I usually have like a little snack or something too. And what I failed to do last night was drink enough water. That's I can tell because like I'm incredibly thirsty. I'm drinking my coffee, but then I've already downed like 3 glasses of water before I started the live. So, and I woke up feeling like I had cotton in my mouth. So yeah. Hi, Spookfest. How are you? Uh, so yeah, I figure that's probably what it was because I don't usually feel like this after I've had a few unless I like really have a few. Um, it's probably not a good thing, but it is what it is. Uh, Normally though, I limit myself to like 3 or 4 drinks, but if I go over that, then I'll really feel it. I'll really feel it after that. But I only had like 3 last night, and that's why I know one, it was too late when I drank them, too close to bedtime, and two, I did not drink enough water while I was drinking my rum and coke. So, because alcohol dehydrates you, and Coca Cola, I don't know about anybody else, but my mouth always gets really dry when I'm drinking Coca Cola. So, yes, how is the little papoose doing? Are you getting any sleep? I should say. How's mom and dad doing? I never could do that with beer. Um, Weird thing with me and beer. So I used to, I couldn't even finish like two of them because beer, certain kinds of beer, makes me start feeling sick to my stomach, almost like an allergic reaction. I compare it to when I drink just straight milk because I'm kind of lactose intolerant. I can't do that with beer either, and I don't know what the difference is. It's got to be the hops, the grains that they brew it with, or maybe the hops they put in it, the way they brew it. I don't know, but yeah, I never could do beer. Never could do beer a lot. Beer a whole lot. Mm. I can't talk this morning either. So, and no, I'm not half asleep. I'm like a quarter asleep. Oh, that's sweet. I remember when mine were young. That was some of the best times. So, is this number one for you? Is this your first one, dear? This is going to be very exciting. Yeah, that's the way my kids were too. They only hollered if they had a stinky diaper or they wanted to be fed. If it was coming out of one end or they wanted it going in the other end. Oh, six is such a nice age. They get very precocious and start saying some of the just most laugh worthy, sometimes cringe worthy things. I know at 6 years old, my kids were liable to just say anything. Like if it popped in their head, it was coming out their mouth. And I can't tell you how many times I looked over at them and was like, "What? What did you just? Oh my god!" And then of course I'd laugh. So just generally, it wasn't anything bad they were saying. It was just unexpected. Yeah, my what you might call drinking days are pretty well done. That's why if I don't drink enough water and I only have three drinks, I look like this in the morning because I'm too old to be drinking that way anymore. No, Tom, you have food, you have water, your litter box has been cleaned. What are you griping about? That cat thinks he runs the house. And I guess here he does. Just kind of lets him have his way. But you know, oh yeah. Well, my oldest is 21. He'll be 22 in October. I lost my middle son back in 2018. You guys know that. I've said that before. And then my youngest, my daughter, is 18. She graduates in May, and she'll be leaving for basic training at the end of May. So, no, I'm not doing it. Whatever it is you want, I don't speak cat. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he has food. He's got water dripping off his face. His litter box is clean. I know because I just did it. But I don't know. I don't know. He's a gripey cat sometimes. He's a grumpy cat sometimes. It's not something you need to imagine, Mariah. Don't even do it. Don't let your mind go there. I always tell everybody when the subject gets brought up, I tell them, don't imagine it. Just hug the ones you got and hug them tight, because you never know. Actually, that's a good thing to apply to any of your family. You never know how long you're going to have them. So hug them tight and hug them often, and be generous with the I love yous. Thomas, stop it. No, I'm not doing it. Oh man, I bet you I know what he's griping about. So the neighbor down the road has a female. Last time he started this pacing the house and meowing at the doors, she was in heat. So no, Thomas, I've been instructed not to let you out when you're acting this way. Yeah, it's a nightmare-inducing thing. Yeah, that's why I said, Mariah, don't let your mind go there. It took me a couple of years to get my mind to stop going there. So don't let your mind go there. 99.9% of the time, you're not going to have to worry about that. The world will go in the order it's supposed to go. That's why I just hug the ones I've got more than well, probably more than they're comfortable with. For me being a hugger and they're not. Like my oldest boy, oh dear lord. He gets kind of embarrassed at how much mom hugs him because he's 21 and feeling all his 21-year-old oats and still thinks he's too big for a hug. But I have support. I have backup because my daughter looks at him and says, "Shut up, Bill." Yeah, he's giving me back talk here, but he's not going out to see his girlfriend because last time he went out to see his girlfriend, he disappeared for a week and came back looking like he'd been in a fight with a bunch of alley cats. Tom, I'm gonna put you in your room. What you doing, buddy? Okay, so I think I'm about to be invaded by the giant dog again. And he has a toy. This could be fun. Drop it. Drop it. If you want up here, and hey, you're not beating me to death with the toy. It ain't happening. And turn your butt. Your tail's a baseball bat. There. All right. So Doc had to come and get some more attention. Apparently, Tom griping. Oh, hopefully it won't be too bad, Mariah. All right, Doc. There you go. No, you're not putting the toy up here with me. If you want pettings, you got to leave the toy alone. Yeah, Tom is about to get grounded. I'm telling you. He's griping at me. He's griping at the dogs. Your girlfriend's just gonna have to wait, buddy. Well, look, if you're gonna do it, get up here. Get up here. If you're gonna do it, at least get up here and say hi. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Yeah. If you're going to do it, you gotta say hi. So this is my favorite blanket, by the way. It's like a soft, fuzzy, snuggy kind of thing. But this is Doc. You gotta use power tools in a minute. Uh, I've been grounded from power tools. Apparently, I'm not coordinated enough to operate them safely. So I've been grounded from them. I'm not even allowed to use my tap and drill set. Can't. I'm not allowed. Like, if I gotta use a power tool to work on my vehicle, Jesse does it for me because I'm not allowed to use his power tool. He'll hand me a wrench, he'll hand me a hammer, he'll hand me anything that can be used by hand, but power tools I'm not allowed to use. And he says it's not because I can't, it's because I'm too dangerous with them. Oh, I love animals. I've got to be very careful though about the kind of animals I have because one, I live out in the woods. It is a very real danger that the wild animals will get a hold of your animals. I also have cattle fields around me, so I've got to be careful what kind of dog I have. Um, my uncle is a big dog lover, but even he's careful about what kind of dog he has because if they get out and start playing with cows and they get them running, I think I've said this before, it can actually cause them to founder. Um, like they'll literally run themselves to death. And if they're pregnant, it can cause them to lose their calves. So I've got to be careful about my animals. Um, my cat, my tomcat, has gone catting, or as we say, he's gone out catting. Hopefully, he will show back up pretty soon. Hopefully, he didn't get out and get got by anything. Uh, little known fact: cats cannot outrun coyotes. One of the way coyotes get cats is they'll catch them out in the field where they can't get up in the tree. So hopefully Maximus did not get got by a coyote. Best case scenario is, given the fact that he's a pretty good looking cat, maybe he found a little girlfriend and the family adopted him. Decided they would just keep him around. I don't know why, but a shadow cat? Like an actual shadow cat or like a cat that looks like a shadow and follows you around like your shadow? No, so I was telling everybody, I was telling them last night, they actually wanted me to get on the Discord and post it. So I grew up for about 3 years in a house where an old man had passed away. Well, I knew the old man from when I was a kid, and he passed away from, it was a wasp sting. It got him like right here, and it like almost immediately sent him to the ground. Um, his kids were actually due to visit, and it had happened just before they showed up. So they called my mom because my mom was a registered nurse. Um, they didn't think to administer his EpiPen to him though, and back then they were a lot more complicated. So I may have been mistaken. They may not have known how to administer the EpiPen. Um, Mom tried whenever she got there, but we were like 5 minutes away, and he wound up passing away in the house. Fast forward about 10 years, and the family had put the place up for rent, and we were just moving back from Illinois, so we rented the house. Every day, at the same time, every day, 5 o'clock, I would hear my front door open and close. Then I would hear soft footsteps all the way through the house to the back door, and then I would hear the rocking chair on the screened in back porch start rocking. And this would happen for, I don't know, 30 minutes every day. Same thing. Nothing was ever bothered. Same thing. And then one night, I was home alone. Mom was working night shift, and Dad had gone to Illinois to go to work. My cousin had a construction company, and he went up there to work with him for a couple of weeks. So I was in the house by myself. I was about 13 or 14, and we used wood heat. Well, I didn't know it, but the chimney hadn't been cleaned. Not that at 13 or 14 I'd have known how to clean a chimney. And it plugged up. The entire house filled with smoke. And I mean, it was like inches from the floor. And I remember I was dreaming and I kept thinking I was drowning. I was having a drowning dream. And I kept hearing this name, this male voice, just screaming my name. And I mean, like right there in my ear. And in my dream, I'm starting to register it. And then I wake up and I'm still hearing it. And I know I'm the only one in the house. And I keep hearing it, Cindy, 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 just screaming. And then I noticed, because I usually slept with my door shut, my bedroom door, I noticed I started smelling smoke. And I reached over and flipped on my lamp, and I could not, it was so full of smoke, I couldn't even see the lamp on my bedside. Like I could see the light, but not the lamp. I couldn't make it out. So I immediately dropped to the floor, and I'm thinking, oh my God, my house is on fire. Luckily, it wasn't yet. It didn't catch on fire, but luckily, I woke up and I dropped to the floor. And I'm thinking, well, how in the hell am I going to get out? The wood stove is right in the center of the house. If the house is on fire, I'm at the outer edges. I'm going to have to go through the window. So that's what I did. I went through the window. But if it hadn't been for that voice, and I know for sure it was Charlie. I know it was Charlie screaming my name. I'd have laid there in my bed having this dream that I was drowning and probably died of smoke inhalation. So that was one of the things, and I'm like forever, forever in that man's debt. I hope like hell he's in heaven somewhere, enjoying the best life ever because he saved my life that night. There was one other time I lived in a house, which the house itself burnt about a year after I moved out. It was a really old house. Um, I kept smelling cigar smoke, like those really nice smelling, almost vanilla flavor or smell cigars. And at about 9 o'clock every night, I would hear footsteps going up my stairs, and I would hear the master bedroom open and shut. That's all. Never saw anything. Just heard the footsteps and the master door shut, master bedroom door shut. That was it. But that would happen every night at the same time, just like with Charlie, every day at the same time. Um. So yeah, I believe there is an afterlife. I know there's an afterlife. Um. I don't know if we'll ever be able to scientifically prove it. I think that there are some things that we as human beings are just not meant to have the answers to. I mean, how boring would the world be if we figured out all the mysteries? So, yeah, that one was pretty spooky. But yeah, I totally credit the old man's spirit for saving my life. Um, I did actually figure out by walking around the house because I would leave lights on, like in the kitchen and stuff like that, for me to be able to see when I moved around at night. If I had to get up and go to the bathroom. Um, so I was able to see through the windows that there was smoke all over the house. And then I went around to the back door, went into on the screen porch and looked in the back door, and it didn't look like there was as much smoke towards the back of the house. So I opened up that door, and when I realized, as I ducked down and was looking as the smoke started clearing, that it wasn't on fire, I actually went through and opened up the other door, and then opened up the windows. Um, and then I was able to wake up my neighbor, who had uh, also had a fireplace, so he had the tools to actually clean out the chimney. And he come over and did that at least enough for it to be able to clear the smoke. And then when my dad got home, he had a company come out and do it. So, but yeah, if it hadn't been for that, I don't think I'd have been here. I think a lot more people have had experiences than are willing to talk about it. I still think it carries a bit of a stigma, or at least it does over here. Oh, you see ghosts? Yeah. I think some people fear it for whatever reason, so they deny the experience. Maybe they think they're crazy and they're not. I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely something after this. I don't know what you would call it, but there is something after this. I just don't think we're ever going to prove it. I just don't. I think that's one of the mysteries of the world that we are not meant to have the answers to. So yeah, that was a pretty shocking experience, I should say, when I look back on it now as a 14-year-old kid. But yeah, I've had a couple of experiences. Um, and out where I live out in the middle of the woods. Um, the area I live in has been inhabited for about over 200 years. The first trappers and hunters started coming into Missouri and establishing their home places. But you can walk through the woods out where I'm at, and you will randomly come across what we call Easter lilies. Well, Easter lilies are not native to Missouri. I don't know where they're native to, but they're not native to Missouri. So if you go out in the woods and you see these groups of yellow flowers, those were deliberately planted there. That means whether you can see a house or not, there was at one point in time a habitation there, a house or a cabin, whatever it was. And I mean, you'll just be walking through the woods and randomly come upon these things. Very rarely will you still see a house, but if you do see those, you've got to be careful because not everybody remembered to cover or fill their cistern, which is basically a hole in the ground with water in it. So you don't want to step off in one of those. So be careful if you do find a patch where those flowers are growing. Be very careful around that area. Observe where you're putting your feet. Now, the neat thing about it is for me, uh, Ryan, is that whenever I go out in the woods, a lot of times, I actually, because my family has been in this area, my mom's family's been in this area for over 100 years. My granddad actually knows a lot of the people who used to live at those places because he remembers hearing about them from his dad. Some of the places aren't there anymore. Some of the ground has been sold off to other people. Some of it's still held by the families, but they just use it as hunting ground, so they don't actually live there anymore. I was out walking. I don't know. It's been about 2 weeks ago. I was actually out just walking the conservation land around my property and found an old World War II helmet, like actual World War II era Army helmet. And I had to look up like the straps and the connectors and stuff. And it was actually produced from World War I into World War II. And then the connections, where the straps connect to the helmet, that was changed before they went into Vietnam. They were changed, but it was still the same basic helmet. So, and when I first seen it, I thought it was a rock. I just thought it was a rock. So I kind of towed it a little bit. I kind of kicked it a little bit with my toe, and I'm like, that's not moving. That must be a big rock. Well, I got kind of curious because also it sounded kind of hollow, and I'm like, well, maybe I found a geode or something. And I go to digging it out, and it's like metal army helmet. Okay. Um, that one I think was probably a hunter because there was no house place there. But I do know that the ground had been previously owned before before it was left. It was basically deeded to the conservation department by the family, so it was hunting ground for a lot of years. And I figure he probably either brought that with him to cook with, because little known fact, you can actually cook in an army helmet, not the ones we have now, but back then. I figured he probably brought it as part of his hunting kit. So, mm, oh wow. All right, I'm like finally starting to wake up, sort of. Truth be told, I'm probably going to go back to bed for a nap in a few hours. I live in Missouri, actually, just north of the Boot Heel. If you look on a topographical map, right where Missouri goes from being flat to suddenly does this, I'm like on the edge of that. I live in Wayne County, in a town nobody's ever heard of and you won't find on a map unless you have a county map. Now, if you have a county map, you'll find my town, but otherwise, no. It's not even on the state maps. I'm not even sure you'd call it a village. There's only like 50 people that actually live within the town proper. All the rest of the addresses that have this town on it are like out in the woods. So, but you'll find, there was a couple of Civil War battles that were fought close to here, like the Battle of Mingo Swamp or the Battle of Mingo. Um, Crowley's Ridge was another one. Morning, Spange. Yeah, I don't know if there's actually anything reported out this way or not. Ryan, if you can find anything, that would be great. Uh, so I don't know if anybody, like back in 2017, 2016, 2017, I don't think it was ever actually reported, but I know out here we have hundreds of people who said that they were seeing strange lights in the sky. And I have always been the type of person that, you know what, it would be egotistical at its highest form to think that in all the universe, in everything, that we're the only creation with intelligence. I mean, seriously. Of all the space out there, we're the only thing that was created. Ah, my butt. Merrimack is actually um, north of me. It's up north on 67, up around St. Louis, or closer to St. Louis, I should say. Um, yeah, we have Momo, but I don't like down in where I'm at. There's not been, as far as I know, there haven't been any reported sightings or anything like that. But yeah, so I was outside one night and I like to watch the stars, and I kept seeing three little lights all together, not in any kind of specific pattern, but they were just moving around in random patterns. And I actually called my kids outside to make sure that I was seeing what I was seeing. And all three of them looked up, and the first thing they did, Mom, what are those lights moving around? Are those planes? No, those aren't planes. They're going backwards. I'm repeating the conversation between my kids. And yeah, so I mean, I've seen some strange things. I won't claim to know what they are because I didn't lay eyes on them myself, except for the lights. But I've seen some strange things. So like I said, here where I'm at, I'm like on the edge of the Ozark foothills, and like literally where the hills start to turn into the flatlands, like down around where Advance and stuff like that is at. Um, I haven't heard of any reports of any kind of haunted places like in this immediate area or Bigfoot being sighted in the immediate area. Um, I have gone on some hikes up into the Mark Twain National Forest, and again, I've lived in the woods my entire life. I know what animals are out there. I know what sounds they can make, and I have heard some things that didn't belong. Well, see, the thing is like, so you had the three little lights, but like this one would move this way, and this one would move that way, and that one would move this way, and then they would all start doing this, like just dancing around each other. Even my kids thought it was weird, and they're kids. They were kids, so they grew up with a mom that believes that there are things out there we don't know that we don't know about, and even they thought it was weird. So I know it wasn't just me, and I was sober at the time. So when my kids were younger, I was pretty well sober all the time, unless my aunt came and kidnapped them, which she would do regularly, even when they were babies. Like she would just show up one day and, hey, I'm taking my niece and my nephews. I'll bring them back in a few days. Like, all right, don't sugar them up too much. And they'd go off for 3 or 4 days with Aunt Lee and Uncle TC, and come back and usually so wore out and like tired that they would, take a nap and get up and do it all over again. Yeah, so I am. If you look on your map and you go down from Lake of the Ozarks almost all the way to the Boot Heel, I'm in a county called Wayne, and it kind of resembles like this. It looks like a fist almost. Yeah, about like that. Um, those places are actually, I know about them, and they are actually about 2 or 3 hours drive north of me. So like I'm almost in the Boot Heel. Um, I'm only an hour from the Mississippi River. The nearest big towns to me would be either Cape Girardeau, which would be north and east, or Poplar Bluff, which is like south and west. You honestly won't find any larger towns in my county. I see you, Mariah. Yeah, my grandma was big on Mark Twain. Um, she just loved him. But my grandma read everything she could get her hands on. Yeah, like every book she could possibly read. It didn't matter whether it was historical, whether it was sci-fi, whether it was a murder mystery, or whether it was a Harlequin love novel. If it had words, she was going to read it. She said the worst thing you can ever do is stop learning. Then you get old. I kind of think you get old anyway, but I understand what she was saying. You get old in your mind when you stop learning, and that can be worse than getting old in your body. Um, yeah, I know. So over by, oh no, no, I am wrong, Ryan. So if you look up Current River, there is actually a man over in the current who lives on the Current River, and I can't. I wish I could remember the name of the person who did the documentary on it. Um, but apparently he is claiming to have a resident population of Bigfoot, big feet. What is the proper plural for Bigfoot? Is it just Bigfoot? kind of like Goose, or is it Big Feet, Bigfoots? I have no idea. But anyway, he claims to have a resident population. Um, ah, I can't remember the name of him. Name of the guy that did the documentary though. So yes, there are actually. Um, Wycliffe. So there's a town named Wycliffe in Kentucky. I'd have to get my map out. Giant City. Where's Giant City? Oh, geez, my brain is trying to work now. Shit. The hamsters are pissed. I woke them up. I would have to look that up, but I don't remember how far away Giant City Stone Fort is. Um. Oh, there's always going to be people that are not going to believe. I just know that. Um. I think some people have a hard time even contemplating things they don't understand. Yeah, I am. So the Mississippi River is to the east. Then you've got the Black River, the St. Francis, which turns into Wapapello Lake, which is actually where I'm the closest to is Wapapello Lake. Um, but if you go north and then go west, you've got the nearest state park to me is Sam A. Baker. Mingo is a wildlife refuge. It's not actually a state park, which is really cool. Like one of these days, I'm gonna go down and do Mingo and walk the boardwalk through the swamp, and I'll do a video on it and show you guys what it looks like in the summertime. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, we've got a lot of woods out here, and the thing is it's pretty sparsely populated. So I don't know if it's the fact that there haven't been any sightings, or if there's just so few people they don't talk about it. But I know the guy over on the Current River was very adamant about not giving his like exact location because he didn't want people coming out there and trying to find them. So he really believes they're there, and I'm not saying they're not, but apparently he has developed a protective feeling towards them. Like he would take the guy out and show him certain areas, but then there were other areas he wouldn't take him into. Um, and I think that might be where he thought they actually were residing. But yeah, so he that was pretty neat. I would look it up, but I can't actually look anything up while I'm doing this, or it'll shut my stream off. But yeah, I mean, you can look it up. Did you guys hear that? That's not a human snoring. That's a dog snoring. that's literally that's literally the bulldog snoring. Um, Wow. Wow. That's loud. So Mound City, yeah. So you got Cahokia Mounds in Illinois. You got Giant City in Missouri. Um, there's the Merrimack Caverns that are north of me. Um, then you got the Current River. I believe that too. Some things are not meant to be disturbed. And I think if we try too hard to disturb them, it's going to be bad for us. Because honestly, if you were to throw us all in a ring, human beings would be on the bottom of the food chain. We are literally unprotected meat bags. If it wasn't for our brains, we would be the bottom of the food chain. But no claws, no fur to keep us warm, no big teeth to, bite things. So, yeah. I firmly believe that if we ever become a race of idiots, we're all going to die. We will be eaten by the larger animals. Um, yeah, he snores a lot. So yeah, we've got some interesting areas. The prison you were talking about, there's one north of here called Algoa. The nickname is the Walls, and it was shut down. And I don't know if the building is still there, but I do know that they built a new prison. But I had heard some pretty disturbing stuff about what went on there, kind of like a lot of old prisons. It was also where they sent like the worst of the worst violent offenders and stuff like that. Um, it may be up around that area that there are reports of it being haunted, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't believe that's a good idea at all. Those animals went extinct for a reason. That's like the ultimate invasive species. You're going to bring back a predator that, if you bring it back correctly, is larger, could take on a grizzly bear, basically. No, 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 no. See, this is a bad idea. We all know how these movies start. We also know how these movies end. And that sounds like the start to one of these movies. It's going to get out of hand. They're playing God, and it's going to get out of hand. And that's all I'm going to say. Because that's a bad idea. Well, and not to mention the fact that, again, they're 10,000 years ago, conditions were a lot different. How do we know that they could even, are even built to survive in this kind of climate? So, I don't know. I just think it's a bad idea to be bringing stuff back that has been naturally eliminated. Because, yeah, Mother Nature wiped those guys out. Just like she took out the mammoth. Just like the dinosaurs are gone now. Uh, there are reasons for things. Holy crap, no. No, 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 that's not gonna help. See, the thing is, I don't think that's gonna help. Um, like the woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth is built for Arctic conditions. They were an ice age animal. And while I think it's probably not long before we go back into another ice age, we are reaching the maximum warm. We're getting there. But these animals were alive at a different time, in a different climate, in different climatic conditions, and the natural systems that existed for them to live don't exist now for the most part. So they're either going to bring them back and they are going to naturally die off again because conditions are not right for them to live, or they're going to thrive and become a problem for our native species. We got to quit tampering with nature. We need to quit thinking that we know how all these intricate systems are connected and work, because we don't. And every time we've gone to mess with it, we have bungled it badly, like badly. Um, Now the dodo is a more recent creature. Um, I think that if they were going to successfully reintroduce one of them, the dodo would probably be the one that they could successfully reintroduce. Um, but I just don't. I, I really think as human beings, there are times when we just shouldn't. It's like, oh, you had that idea? Don't. Just don't. So, I mean, yeah, they're already, yeah, and not even half grown. What do we have that could match them if this goes sideways like it always does? Because it's going to go sideways. Something's going to happen. One of them's going to get out of containment. Two of them maybe are going to get out of containment. A storm's going to come through and blow the containment over. Something's going to happen. Hollywood don't have it wrong all the time. We as human beings bumble a lot, especially when we shouldn't. A lot. Just leave them alone. They're dead. They're gone. Bye. Sorry, I missed the time when you were living, but not sorry because it was cold as fuck. So, yeah. Anyway, now do I think the concept is neat? I do. I think the concept is neat, but you see, that's a whole Pandora's box that shouldn't even be open. Because if we have the technology to do that, guess what else is going to happen? They're going to start using it to do things they shouldn't do. Yeah, kind of like the atomic bomb and biological warfare. We shouldn't have, but we did. And now look at all the mess that's been made. Yeah, some things just ought to stay in the box. Yeah, we do them because we can instead of thinking about whether we should. Sometimes it's not always whether we can, it's should we. Should we do that? Should we really do that? Or should we just wad that idea up and throw it away before anybody else hears about it? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park's a total movie, but it gives you an idea of, and it's kind of realistic in the whole it got out of hand, uh, shit happens, things that aren't expected happen. You know, they didn't expect a human being working on the island to do what he did. They also didn't expect it to be that bad. I always wondered though, why in the world, if you were going to build a park, a Jurassic Park like that, would you choose an island in the middle of the ocean where you can have hurricanes? Hmm. Seems almost as bad as planting the damn thing in the middle of Oklahoma. Well, see, in theory we could, but the thing about it is we're starting with the same genetics. And once you get below a certain amount of genetic diversity, the population is no longer viable for breeding purposes. It will eventually become inbred and die off anyway. We can't create new genes, new genetic material. So, uh, yeah, that alone is one barrier. Now, to if we were going to do that, then we would need to start collecting. We would need to identify species that could be threatened and start collecting all the DNA sequences we could from them, all the different genetics from them, so that if we ever needed to boost the population, we could bring those genetics back in. But it's kind of like with people, if you don't have a large enough gene pool, then you're going to breed yourself to death, basically. You're going to become so inbred that the problems and the issues, the children will, the babies will no longer be viable. They'll be born with so many genetic issues that they won't live. Um, that's why they that's why they say the Toba eruption um, nearly wiped out the human population. It created a genetic bottleneck, basically. Uh, I don't know if anybody realizes just how closely related we actually all are genetically. I mean, we all share the same genes because we've all been born from. I think they said it was maybe 8 or 10,000 people left on the face of the earth after that. So you pair that off, and that's how many genetic sequences we have. But I also caution keeping a species alive. And the only reason why I say that is there's no point in saving the species if we're not going to save their habitat because then they've got nowhere to live, which means they're either going to suffer or they're going to take out another species. If we're going to save the species, we need to save the habitat that goes with them so that they've got a place to live, you know, to continue being their species. Now, one thing I would like to know more about on another subject, Bigfoot. What is he? I don't really want to find him because I think that if we actually found Bigfoot, it would be in some ways it would be the end of the species. Part of the population would want to gather them all up and make sure they're all in a secure location because they're bigger than us. Some people would want to capture them and experiment on them. I think that's a species that is best left alone. Uh, I think it is a tail end of a branch of the human family tree that has somehow figured out a way to adapt and survive. And I think we ought to leave them alone to do exactly that. Am I fascinated? Yes. Would I like to know whether they're really there or not? Whether they still exist? Yes. I just, I don't think as a whole we ought to. I also don't think any of those camera crews that go out in the woods are ever going to find them. They make too much noise. I really think that if evidence of Bigfoot's existence is truly captured, it's going to be with one person out in the woods for days with a camera, and that's it. Because a group of people with cameras and all that make way too much noise. They leave behind way too much scent. Um, these creatures have been living in the woods and mountains for their entire existence, so they've probably got really, really good hearing. They've probably got really, really good eyesight. And like a deer, they probably hear, see, and smell us coming before we ever get near them. So, like I said, I think it's going to take a lot more than a bunch of cameras to get that evidence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to leave good company, but I have a couple things I need to get done today. Ryan, I don't know. Um, I don't know if you got Discord or not, but if you find any more information, and I'll go digging too. Um, you can send it to me either through Facebook or not Facebook or you know, YouTube or whatever. Facebook is the only thing besides YouTube that I actually have, so I don't have TikTok or anything else. Um, but yeah, that's some interesting stuff, and I'm definitely gonna have to look into it further because some of it I had forgotten about, like the locations. I had actually forgotten about some of those locations, and I really want to. I want to look up that uh, documentary about the guy over on Current River. I think you'll enjoy that one. Ugh. Hi, Luke. No, you haven't missed it. I will be ending here in about 20 minutes, though. I don't usually like to go over 2 hours. I also know Beardo's got his pew pews going. Oh, so I know a bunch of people are probably watching that. Yeah, definitely send me a Discord link. Because like I said, and I'll try and find out. I'll try and find information on that documentary if you don't find it first. But apparently, there has been like up in the Mark Twain National Forest. There's been quite a bit of hunting going on up there. Um, People trying to find him, trying to find Bigfoot, reporting Bigfoot. Um, so, like I said, I forgot about some of that stuff. I'm glad you reminded me. So we've just been talking, Luke, chatting about, I guess, anything that comes to mind. Got a subject you want to talk about? I just had one of those. I don't need one of those. I think everybody's doing good. Um, I know I am. It's a little chilly today. I wish I had a fur coat, like actual fur coat. You know, be a little hard to shave off in the winter, summertime, but in the wintertime it sure come in handy. Oh, hmm. Okay. So before I forget, um, I am going to try and do a live on Sunday. Uh, if not, then it'll just be my regular video. Uh, I am still going to try and do at least one video a week, and probably Wednesday mornings as far as lives go for right now. Um, and as you guys can tell, uh, the lives are pretty much about anything we want to talk about. Um, Hi, Denise. How are you, dear? We're not going to be on much longer. We're only going to be on for about another 20 minutes or so. Hopefully, you're having a good day at work. I'm actually having a day off. So, I do think I may start going live a little bit later in the morning. Um, because I know Wednesdays, there's quite a few people that do lives on Wednesday afternoons. Oh, well, they're afternoon here, evening in the UK. Um, but I would like to find a time that's kind of in the middle So it's not too late for the UK, and it's not too early for me and everybody else in the United States that wants to join in. Uh, yeah, I think it was like 32 degrees whenever I got up this morning. And yeah, Ryan, I definitely, I'm just gonna say it. I do believe Bigfoot exists. I think that's another one of them things that we're not wood savvy enough to find him. They've been out there for their entire existence. If they don't want to be found, we're not gonna find them. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Um, I don't believe that he is. I don't believe that he's extraterrestrial. I don't believe that he is a magic being. I truly believe that it is a sentient branch of the human race. What in the what? Hold on. So two ply, hold on a minute. There's this thing in the corner of my chat, and I can't make it go away. And it says share your referral link. I thought pushing it would make it go away, but all it did was put some stuff in the chat. So I can't see your entire comment just yet until the chat moves up. uh, trouble. That's what's going on here. As much trouble as my butt can get up to, which ain't a whole lot right now. We're just chatting about anything that comes to mind. Which my brain is moving so slow today right now. It's like the conductor's not even on the train yet to move it out of the station. So it's actually going pretty good so far. Uh, I've got a day off, so I'm not gonna do much. Um, I will have to eventually go back to my own home and feed my fish, check on my chicken, my one little chicken, poor Lucy. I need to get another dog. I do need to do that. I have started to notice an inordinate amount of wild critters are coming into my yard now that I no longer have a dog to keep them in their own space. But I've got to have a smaller dog. It's got to be like less than 3 feet high because there are cows in the fields next to me. So it needs to be short enough to duck a cow if they decide to kick at it, and tall enough to actually keep the critters away. Because if it's not any bigger than a raccoon, the raccoons are going to bully it. Raccoons are bullies, by the way. They are. They're not as cute as you think. Rabid little suckers. Getting into your garbage cans, eating up your dog food. So, yeah. I hope your day's going pretty good too, Two Fly. Okay, so if you guys hear anything in a minute, the bulldog's snoring is ramping up again, so there's nothing weird in the house. If you hear a sort of growly sound in the background, it's the bulldog snoring. So I just thought I'd warn you guys. And Doc is over there behaving himself. He's laid down. And I guess Tom has decided, the cat has decided to take a nap with the dog. So they're good. Yeah, I just got the notification, Ryan, for the Discord link. Um, and then, like I said earlier, I'm going to try and do a live Sunday. I don't know if I'll actually be able to do the live. I may just have to do the video. Pretty sure I could borrow the kitchen to do one if I wanted to here, but oh, he's usually got things going on. I don't want to be trying to do a live while he's working on his college work and stuff like that. So that's why I normally do them on Wednesday morning. He leaves for work, and then I come on and go live. So, uh, so what do you guys want to talk about? I'm running out of stuff to say here. I'm not all that interesting, so we're gonna get bored pretty quick if you leave the conversation to me. Oh, Spanish, I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. When the real world calls, it needs to come first. Family definitely needs to come first. So I'm just I'm glad to know you're okay though. You know that you're not sick or anything like that. I was kind of wondering about you. That's okay, Sarah. Oh, I didn't have any brothers and sisters, but I can't imagine that. Hopefully, love and hugs to your family, sweetie, to all of you, because it can be hard to lose somebody you love. It is hard to lose somebody you love, but other than that, I mean, seriously though, we're if you leave the conversation to me, guys, we're gonna get bored. So if you guys got anything you want to talk about, ideas you want to share, recipes you want to share, uh, well, Spanish, if you want to get naked, go ahead, but I'm not. Trust me, y'all don't want to see that. I'm white as a ghost. Ugh. In fact, last time I wore shorts, I had somebody tell me they needed to wear sunglasses to look at my legs. So I don't get out in the sun a whole lot, and when I do, I'm usually covered because I don't want to get burnt. Ugh. Uh-huh. That's one I forgot about, pecan pie. So I make a southern pecan pie is what they call it, and I don't think it's as sweet as a traditional pecan pie, um, which I like because I'm not big on real sugary sweet stuff. I don't want to bite into something and just uh, I don't want to just taste sugar. I want there to be other flavors in it. That's what I was trying to say. Really? So what's on the pier? Well, Spanish, I can tell you this. I've been through some grief in my life, and sometimes it's best to just let the stuff, let it flow, kind of like the rhythm of a river. Just let it flow, let yourself feel it, let yourself process it, and let it go. Um, Now people try to quantify and put a time on grief, and I'm just going to tell you, 20 years down the line, you may get smacked with it because a memory is going to come up, or smell, or you'll get a feeling of deja vu, and there it is. It's not going to be as bad, but you'll still feel it even years later. So I'm glad you're getting out more, Sarah. I mean, I don't blame anybody who doesn't want to. People are kind of crazy these days, but it's actually good to get out sometimes. I make myself get out every now and then and actually go to town because I have to get stuff like groceries. It's probably a good thing I don't live closer to town because then I would just have everything delivered and I'd probably never leave my house. So, oh, cool. I live out in the middle of the woods, so we don't have anything like that. If you see a pier out in the middle of the woods, you probably should leave it alone. So I got a question. So every now and then I get these stories pop up and about stairs in the middle of the woods. Have any of you guys ever heard any of those stories? Apparently, it's a thing with our national parks. I don't know. I lost my dad a couple of years ago. Luckily, I've still got my mom. Um, I'm actually most of my dad's family is gone now. So it's me and mom and grandma and grandpa and my uncle Daryl and my kids. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I am so glad to hear that, Sarah. So Denise, they kind of pop up. I got into watching stuff like documentaries and stuff about our national parks, and they started popping up along with those. And there are legends that say that if you walk to the top of the stairs, something bad is going to happen to you, or you're going to wind up in another dimension. It depends on the person telling the story and what's been associated with those stairs. And a lot of them are captioned, park workers tell this or whatever. Yeah, something to do with that. Some of them are. And then other ones are just that the stairs lead to nowhere and mysterious things happen if you go to the top of them, like you disappear or um, you're found dead in a weird location within like a week or two. I have again been wandering out in the woods all my life and never seen a staircase or a random door out in the woods. If I did, I would probably just leave it the hell alone because I'm one of them that when you find something weird in the woods, you probably ought to leave it alone. Kind of like if you come across an animal in the woods, don't try to pet it, leave it alone. It's probably gonna bite you. Yeah, there are some things I'm not gonna tempt fate about. But those stories, anyway, I've seen some of them. They're fairly interesting actually. I kind of like them. Um, I got into the Lore Lodge is a good one. Mr. Balin is a good one. Um, I like the Y Files quite a bit. Yeah, so I've seen some of them captioned. What's in there? What are they hiding? Uh, are these boundaries to keep you out or keep things in? Um, they're kind of fascinating if you like to walk on the sci-fi side of stuff. The mysterious, strange, dark, and mysterious. I think is the way Mr. Balin puts it. Yeah, I do. I love. Yeah, there are several things about underground caves, or well, caves are underground. Never mind about the caves, and people going off into them and encountering things or not coming back out. I think Ryan that Balin has actually said that. Um, there was another one that did the missing 411 for a while, and I know the Lore Lodge has got some. Um, it was actually looking up and looking into those kind of videos and like ghost stories and stuff that got me into the paranormal realm, where I eventually found like Beardo and Mr. Gray and all them. Um, well, so on that one, I'd say, what happens whenever you mess with a wild animal in their den? It doesn't usually turn out well. So, um, that could be why some of the missing line up with your map like that. You go out in the woods messing with something and you find it, and it could go either really bad or sort of bad, depending on what you've gone out looking for. Oh, oh, I am not looking forward to having to get out in this chilly weather this morning. So I'm kind of procrastinating, which is why I haven't ended yet. Because I know when I end, I'm gonna have to put my shoes on and go outside, and outside it's kind of chilly today, so I don't want to do it. I'm gonna have to, but I don't want to do it. Yes, boys, it's time for you guys to go outside again. I'm gonna let you out one more time, so I'm gonna take you guys with me to the door. Oh, come on, boys. Ow. So it really stinks getting old when you get up and your hips start popping. Come on, lazy bones. Let's go, Arlo. So Arlo wants to stay in his chair. But what'll happen is if I let Arlo stay in his chair, here in about 20 minutes, Arlo's going to want to go outside. So I literally have to make him get out of his chair. So he will go outside. There you go, Arlo. I know. Oh, that's the sore in my elbow. Uh, yeah, it's slowly warming up, but as much as I like the prettiness of winter, and I do think winter is a beautiful season, um, I would much prefer it to stay warm. I like having all four seasons, so I don't really want to move somewhere that it stays 70 degrees all the time. But then when it's like 40 degrees outside, I'm like, maybe. It's kind of like, yeah, the Florida Keys sound really good right now, except I don't like hurricanes. I don't like tornadoes either, and we're having a hell of a lot of those lately. But I don't like hurricanes. I'm not a coastal bird. Hmm. I like to I like to stay warm, which is why I like my wood heat, which really stinks because I don't have it in the house I'm in now. All I have is gas heat, and it's better than electric heat, but not good enough for me. Oh, we should definitely take a second look at everything. I think sometimes we do chalk it up to uh, I think sometimes we do chalk it up to a natural event, but again, I think people have a hard time accepting and processing things they don't understand. Um, it's almost like they're afraid of it. So rather than accept that it's something they can't understand or explain, they explain it away so that it doesn't disturb their world and how they think it should be going and what they believe is in it. Yeah, it's going back and forth here between t-shirt weather and parka weather. Oh, really? Man, that's just rude. You shouldn't be putting your crap in somebody else's dumpster. Um, I know my boss. He actually wound up having to put a camera on the corner of his building pointing at his dumpster because people would just randomly go by and dump crap in it. And he's like, I can't be having that. So um, he actually put a camera on it. And when he found out who the people were that had been doing it, uh, I think he actually filed charges against them, basically for using his dumpster and not helping pay for it. I think is how that went. Yeah, I wish we didn't have that kind of scary weather to deal with, Sarah. But we've been having some pretty scary weather lately. I wish I could have gotten a video of the high water and stuff, but um, I'm not one of those who go around and film like disasters and stuff like that. I firmly believe that when you are in a situation where there's danger, you should keep your attention on what you're doing and not try to film it. Um, my truck is not big enough or heavy enough to go through any kind of moving water. So, and as hard as it was raining, actually, for me to have been able to do that, uh, I think there were times when it was raining hard enough, I actually wouldn't have been able to drive. I'd have had to pull over because it was raining that hard. Um, we got a lot of roads tore up. Um, a lot of our gravel roads are pretty tore up, which they've been trying to fix those in the last few days. But there are actually places where like actual roads, asphalt roads, have been torn up. Uh, the water gets to flowing down these hills, and it moves about like a bulldozer, and everything in front of it just kind of gets swept away. Uh, and then it all gathers down in the flatlands, and they get the. That's where you start to see like the river flooding and stuff like that. So, well, that's odd. Do you know why they quit working? Yeah, yeah, that's the crazy thing. 80 degrees the day we had all that bad weather come through last Wednesday, and then it just flipped the switch and went to like 30s and 30s for lows and 50s for highs. We actually had a freeze warning, I think, yesterday morning. And I'm like, really? I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but somebody needs to get a hold of Mother Nature and give her meds again. Because that chick done flipped her fucking lid. Oh, yeah, I have seen some of those videos where they're filming stuff like that. And I'm like, really? The law of natural selection. We usually, honestly, the weather we're having today is pretty normal for this time of year here. We don't generally start seeing heat until the end of May, as far as a steady warm weather. Um, So that's how I knew, and most of us that live around here know that whenever it starts hitting 70 and 80 degrees in March and April, we're going to have some pretty bad weather. Um, because it's not normally like that. Um, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the warmer temperatures, but it's also a little concerning because when they go that far out of the norm, generally we do have some pretty bad storms. Um, I know they're talking about some more storms coming through tomorrow, but they're not supposed to be real severe. But we don't need any more rain either. Um, the topsoil around here is not all that deep, and we get really wet, and then we start having high winds, and we literally just start having trees fall over, like they'll just blow over. Okay, so here's the thing. Um, our magnetic pole moves around a lot, and it's been proven that in the past it's flipped. Uh, but we're also we are heading to our maximum high point. We are in the interim between two ice ages, basically. We got one coming, and we got one behind us. It's proven fact. The Earth hits a maximum warm temp and then flips and starts going into the cooler temp. Once it gets close to its maximum, once it gets closer to the tipping point, the weather just starts going nuts. It's a proven fact. They've got studies to show all of this. I think we've accelerated the process by putting more carbon than normal into the atmosphere, but we didn't cause this. What we do need to do is strap our asses in and figure out a way to live through it because we don't know how to live through it. We don't know how it was survived before. We also don't know what kind of ice age we're going to have. I personally hate the cold, so I hope I'm not alive for it. Uh, I would probably be the most miserable person on planet Earth, but we're going through a natural cycle, and I think people need to quit playing the blame game and just figure out how the human race is going to live through the erratic weather because it's going to get worse. Storms are going to get worse. They're going to get more often. It's crazy. You're going to start seeing weather in places that didn't have any before, like snow in the desert or stuff like that. Um, I just think we need to get ready for it. How long it's going to be, when it's going to happen, I don't know. But the cycle has happened numerous times throughout the history of the world. We just happen to be born. We just happen to come into existence at the right time. Now we're going to have to live through the wrong time. Well, as a race, we are. I don't know who all is going to be alive, but yeah. Well, that's odd. I mean, that wouldn't be odd for me. Technology and me don't get along very well. So, I mean, anytime something technological that I have stops working, I just assume that I've done something wrong. Yeah. So, like I said, we're in a natural pattern, guys. The Earth has done this to itself and every living thing on the face of it for I don't know. Can't remember how many we've had. Good morning, Mike. Oh, sorry, I had to do that, and I had to make it sound so sweet. And that's the sweetest my voice will sound ever. unless I'm talking to my kid. And then that depends on how she's talking to me. So, oh, oh man. So yeah, I'm still procrastinating. I do not want to shut down. Yeah, there have been a few instances in history, and yeah, we are seeing a rise in volcanic activity. Um, Pretty fascinating to think about the fact that at some point in time in the future we might see conditions like what the dinosaurs got to see before Mother Nature goes and flips her fucking lid and freezes us all to death. We're just talking about anything that comes to mind, Mike. So jump in and add to the conversation if you want. I think right now we're talking about the climate patterns of the world, how often it's happened, and maybe when it's going to happen again. And I have voted that I do not want to see us go into an ice age because I hate the cold. Ugh, freaking shivering just thinking about it. Not right. Yeah, that was snow in Florida. That was crazy. Yeah, um, it is. Ah, so I used to know so. I think it's all still in there, but it's like locked away. But volcanism is something that has always fascinated me. Geology itself has always fascinated me. Um, Sir Spookfest, Ryan, darling, I would rather not think of that happening. Um, uh, Campe, Filegre, the Filigrean Fields, in Italy. I think we need to watch that one a little closer. So apparently that one's starting to get real active over there. Yeah, and it's kind of like the weather, Mike. The Earth has cycles, and by and large, what we're seeing now is basically a repeat of cycles that have happened before. I know people like to talk about climate change and carbon emissions and stuff like that, but the thing is, those cycles have happened before. That's how we got so warm and had megaflora and megafauna, is because of natural cycles of the earth. Um, and I think everything from our earthquakes and volcanoes to the weather in the air is all all a cycle. Like you said, it's a natural thing. Yeah, that one. And I know I mispronounced it. Um, my Italian is crap. In fact, if I attempt to speak anything but English, it's crap. And half the time when I'm speaking English, it's crap. I can't do it. Yeah, that one. That's the one I've been watching really closely. And the thing is if any of those go off, that could be the thing that kicks it over. Maybe that's what kicked it over before in some of the other cycles. I know that um, they don't always blow the big top. Um, but when they do, they're literally world changing. You know. So, oh, I do have a little more coffee. So I get it warmer on my coffee. Or maybe not a warmer. It might be cold, but that's okay because I'm still going to drink it. Coffee is coffee, and I haven't had enough yet. Oh, okay. Time to put the fuzzy blanket up. Forget it. I'm just going to put my coat on. Because I know it's warmer in here, but than what it feels like to me. But I'm not going to turn this heat up because he he will be very comfortable at this temperature. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't really know if I don't really know if I buy into volcanoes actually going dormant. Um, like not doing anything anymore when they're still over active magma fields. I think basically they just go to sleep for a little while. Um, Yellowstone, well, any of the big volcanoes, any of the so-called super volcanoes, uh, those are kind of scary to think about because um, they're not just going to change the area immediately around them. They actually affect global weather patterns and things like that. So, I mean, honestly, if any of the big ones go off, the whole world needs to worry about it. Um, I don't know about Yellowstone. That one worries me a little bit. So, yeah, I forgot about that one, Mike. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I forgot about the one in Southern California. Getting caught on an island? Hmm. Like run aground on it? That would be weird. Hmm. I just wondered was the island inhabited? And what did the inhabitants think? Seeing this giant iceberg roll up on them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing something about that one, Mike. But like I said, I'll have to look that one up. I don't like making assumptions or getting my facts confused. I don't want to be talking about something else and actually want to be talking about that. Um, See, what gets me is what type of eruption are they going to be this time? If they go off this time, are they going to be the big one? Is it going to be like mass destruction, world ending kind of thing? Or are they going to be a smaller eruption and just kind of let off steam? Yeah, there was actually a news story. I can't remember what station it was on, but I had actually seen that on the news that the waters are warming up in the Bay of Naples. That, yeah, it's been showing a lot of activity. Um, it's kind of like Yellowstone, which I actually wonder if there's more going on in Yellowstone than they're telling. Uh, the whole don't cause panic thing. Yeah, I would say the fishermen would be the first ones to notice any sign of change in the water. I mean, that's how they make their living. Um, and warming up in the water will change the pattern of the things that they go fishing for. So, um, mm, duck and cover, I guess. I mean, there's not really anything that they can do right in the immediate area. Duck and cover ain't gonna help them. I guess for the rest of us, though, if it does go off, we better duck and cover. Um, this beautiful world we live on, uh, she can be a tricky one here. Yeah, that's the thing about it, and that's I think what really worries me with Yellowstone is the incentives, the economic incentives to not cause a panic. But I mean, just for the stuff that's going on in the parts of the park and boardwalks that they've had to close, um, you can tell there's more going on there. I know in the volcanoes in Greenland and stuff going off too. You have to watch that one for rise in ocean levels. Because if they ever really start going off and they melt that glacier, oh, oh man, that's gonna be bad. Um, that much fresh water flooding into the ocean all at once could really mess up the ocean currents. Yeah, that's what I'd like to know. One, is the island inhabited? And two, if it is inhabited, what do the inhabitants think of having that giant iceberg stuck on their island? That I'm gonna have to look that up. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to leave good company, and you guys are really good company. Yeah, that's the part that worries me. Like where these volcanoes are at. Um, if you hide it and you don't take proper precautions, you're gonna get a lot of people killed. Um, I couldn't imagine Yellowstone in the middle of the tourist season and all them people in there and it going off. When if you will just be honest and say, "Hey, guys, this is dangerous. We need to keep people out of here, and we need to start getting the people around here ready to do what needs to be done to hopefully be able to save as many of us as possible." Have a good meeting, Denise. But this has definitely given me some food for thought. I know what I'll be doing the rest of the day. I'll be going down the rabbit hole of volcanism. Pretty good way to spend the day, though. Oh my god, that is huge. 1,400 square miles and it's stuck on an island. Is the island even as big as the iceberg? Right, I'm gonna have to look that one up. But anyway, guys, again, I hate to leave good company. I have procrastinated for about 20 minutes now, and it's only slightly warmer than it was, and pretty sure my chicken is gonna be mad at me. She's used to eating by about 9 o'clock. She'll survive though. She'll get over it. I'll throw her some extra corn out and maybe some snacks because she likes dog food. I have no idea why, but I actually keep a small bag of dog food just to give my chicken a snack. And I think I'm about to acquire 3 more. Oh yeah, now that I did read about. I read about the new stuff they're finding, and it's like wow. But I am going to have to let you guys go and get on the road to my happy little home. I might be nice and make the bed first, but that's only because, I try to be nice to him. I doubt I'll see him tonight, so I might even be really nice and set the coffee pot up for him. Who knows? That way he'll have coffee in the morning when he wakes up. I say maybe, but he would do it for me, so I probably will. Put my shoes on. So, it is. What do they call that? They are both. They they create land and they destroy it. Well, actually, they don't destroy the land; they destroy what's on it when they erupt. But anyway, so I'm gonna say bye to you guys, and I will probably see you guys next Wednesday. Unless I get bored and decide to do one early. Who knows? My lives are just kind of in and out. But love you guys, and I know I'll have a video out on Monday. Um, I don't know what time it's going to drop because I don't know how long it'll take me to get everything loaded up. But other than that, I will see you guys later. So love you. Bye bye. Talk to you later.